We're putting this show together today to help you as our dealers make more money. We realize that it's tough going in 2025. We've got tariffs, we've got economic uncertainty, we've got all that crap that's going on in Washington. We don't care about that. What we want to tell you is that people are buying video gear, they need video gear, they need video technology, and we're going to teach you how to hunt for it. So let's get back here and talk about the main overall arch of today's show, hunting for sales. We're going to talk to you about mining existing customer base for gold and give you some tips on where to go looking for that. We're going to go after some new key verticals that you may be in or may not be in, but you should be in. We're going to talk about upgrades, trade-ups, and refreshing 5-year-old technology, and talking to your customers and listening to their needs. That's really the most important thing that I have to stress, is that if you've got customers who've been your customers for over 5 years, talk to them. And why do I say over 5 years, and why do I key on that? We're in a very funny time. It's 5 years from when the world went viral. 5 years ago, all hell broke loose. We shut down the economy. We had to go virtual. The world shut down. And let's think about that. We all know where we are. Very few times in history do you have that point where you say, I know where I was 5 years ago. Businesses, churches, schools, government agencies turn to streaming. Social distancing forces us into the virtual world of streaming. We do Zoom and Teams and Google Meets, remote learning and online meetings. Adoption of streaming technology jumps 5 years ahead. Now, I want to stress that because we're 5 years ahead now. So we had people having to stream. They had to stream because that was the only way we could do our house of worship, our learning, our corporate training, our corporate videos. But the truth of the matter is that in those 5 years, technology has jumped ahead. It's jumped ahead a lot. And if you've sold stuff to your customers 5 years ago, think about it. Thousands of PTZ cameras, encoders, streaming devices, mixers, switchers, all that stuff was sold 5 years ago. Well, guess what? 5-year-old technology is old technology. That's an old 5-year life cycle for technology. Your customers are ready and due for a refresh. So the number one thing, the easiest, lowest hanging fruit out there is to go after upgrades. Reach out to all your customers who bought anything from you 2019, 20, and 21 and say, hey, what you have, is it still working? What do you need? What's the latest stuff? What's one of the easiest places to go looking for? PTZ cameras. Back when the world shut down, everyone needed PTZ cameras and people were buying HD cameras, any camera they could get their hands on. Well, since then, we've got 4K cameras, but today's 4K cameras aren't just better with 4K. They have better optics, better image quality, smoother mechanics, more connectivity, and also auto tracking and auto focus. So if you were selling PTZ cameras to people back in during the time of the pandemic, now is the time to go back to those customers. They are a treasure chest for you. They are easy money to go get. Reach out to them. Talk to them about the cameras they're using. Find out if they need new cameras. A lot of people got whatever camera they can get their hands on. So they might have a 30X camera when a 10X would be better for where it's placed. Or they may have a camera that was some off-the-brand, whatever camera they could get that was really intended for security or for conference rooms. Now is the time to go to your customers and say, hey, let's think about 4K. Let's think about better optics. Let's think about better mechanics. Let's do auto tracking. Let's get much better autofocus. If you sold 20 PTZ cameras during the pandemic, that's 20 different calls you should have your sales team making, asking people, how are those cameras working? Do you need a new one? A lot of those cameras came with a 3-year or 5-year warranty back then. Well, they're coming off warranty. Now is the time to call and ask them, how are they using the cameras? Do they love their cameras? Do they need to be replaced? And could they use more cameras? Because more cameras mean higher quality, higher value production values. Next, let's talk about something also. A lot of our dealers are TriCaster dealers. Now, you may be platinum, you may be gold, you may be silver, but you're a TriCaster dealer. And right now is a great time to go back to those customers who you sold TriCasters to back before in the early parts of the pandemic. Believe it or not, folks, the TriCaster 2E launched just before the pandemic. And really, if you remember, we had problems getting quantity, problems getting units. So during the pandemic, we didn't have a whole lot of TriCasters initially available, but those TriCasters, TC1s, even 8000s and 460s reach out to people who own TriCasters and ask them if they're ready for a refresh, because the new TriCaster Visions are more powerful with more features and more capabilities. And there's some great trade-up offers available where you can get a $6,500 credit towards a TriCaster Vision if it was a TC2 Elite. And of course, if you have other units, you can get up to $5,000 trade-in credit. We've got packages available for new customers. It doesn't even have to be a TriCaster. If you've got a customer who was using a old Wirecast gear or some other product, go reach out to them. Talk to them about the Vision. If you're fortunate enough to be a TriCaster dealer, you need to take advantage of the fact that you are certified in the TriCaster. You have that ability, and talk to your customers who own those TriCasters and find out how they're using them. Do they need a refresh? Can they use a new product? Do they need more PTZ cameras? What can you add to them to have their shows be better? So go hunting with your existing TriCaster users, especially people who bought in 2019, 20, and 21. Next one is shared storage. And this one's a little bit bigger than what I just spoke about with a TriCaster, because what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of shared storage got sold prior to the pandemic. During the pandemic, we couldn't sell a lot of shared storage because you couldn't go into a place to set up. And shared storage is something that requires you as the vendor, as the dealer, to work with your customer, go in there, make sure it's all set up correctly and all the network's all running right and everything's there. So there was a lot of shared storage from Avid, Facilis, and S&S sold back prior to the pandemic. But since then, yeah, sales have been good, but not that great. But realize that all that shared storage that's out there is now 5 years old, which is beyond the warranty of the drives. Some are no longer supported. You can't even get paid support for them. They're so offline. What's that mean? Your customers are vulnerable. Talk to your customers. Are they seeing slower performance, more hiccups, potential data corruption? Do they have... The biggest thing here that I want to stress to you is that connect with your customers, even if they are customers who purchased not their shared storage from you, because our vendors are here to help you. We can pull in the Avid sales team, the Facilis sales team, the S&S sales team to help you talk to that customer and get them up to speed on what the latest offerings are in shared storage. So even if you didn't sell them the shared storage, if their dealer who did sell them the shared storage hasn't reached out to them in the last couple of years, shame on them, because there is a risk of crashing projects and losing those valuable assets when you're on shared storage that is 6, 7, 8 years old. It's just, I'm not saying all shared storage is going to crash. I'm saying there's a reason why the vendors don't offer warranty and support beyond that time frame. And it's very simple. It's because it becomes more likely that disaster can strike. So reach out to any customers you have. Remember, they're your customers now. Whether they bought that shared storage from the guy down the street, the guy who went out of business, or the guy who retired and moved to Florida, it doesn't matter. Reach out to any of your customers that have shared storage, talk about their shared storage, talk about the performance, and let them know that you have access to Avid, Facilis, and S&S storage. This one I put together, and it's my favorite and the guy's favorite too, and that is NDI tune-ups. You, as a NDI professional, should be NDI certified. You should have TriCaster certifications. Those certifications are worth something. What are they worth? They're worth the knowledge that you have that you could share with your customers in order to see that they are taking advantage of the latest NDI workflows, technology, and capabilities. So call your customers. If they're using NDI, say, hey, I'd like to come in there, check out what you do, and give you a little NDI tune-up. What does that mean? I'm going to reach out. We're going to evaluate your network. Maybe their network is wonky. Maybe their network needs more ports. Whatever it is, a Netgear 4250 is a great sale to make to someone who's got an older or a not working the way they want NDI network. Upgrade from older NDI and NDI HX2 products to HX3. You know, HX3 really solved the big issue that was going on in our industry, which was full NDI had the low latency. HX had latency, but it was a lot more efficient on your network. With HX3, you're getting low latency, you're getting all the goodness of full NDI, and you're getting great quality, great imagery. NDI HX3, NDI 6, definitely the way to go. And you want to make sure your customers are on those latest platforms. Talk about the latest NDI tools and possibilities. Some are free, some cost, but they're still there. and steer those older workflows to upgrade to the latest NDI technology. If you've got a house of worship or a school that's still using HDMI and SDI, not running any NDI, come on, talk to them, show them, let them know what's going on, how their shows can be better, easier to turn around with more features, more performance, more effects, graphics, whatever you want to add in. NDI tune-ups, you've taken the training, you've gotten certified, flex your muscles in NDI and go get those sales from your customers. Now I want to pivot a little bit and talk about the verticals that we sell into. And one of the strongest verticals we've always had is house of worship. Now let's remember, 5 years ago, house of worship were buying PTZ cameras and basic switchers because they had to. They had to be able to have their service go on, even though they couldn't put people in the seats of the church. Well, that's not the case anymore. People are coming back to the church, but a lot of houses of worship are finding that what they can do is take their service, make it more interactive, engaging live events that people want to come back. Now, so house of worship, what do we have? We have replacement business for all those PTZ cameras that can now be replaced with better cameras. We can give them a more powerful live event production opportunity so that they can have their event, bring in graphics, bring in better, hey, if you do lighting, do audio if you do audio, but go into that house of worship and let them know that that event can become more interactive, both for the people at home who are streaming it and the people who are there sitting in the pews who can watch it. Now, we just did a whole thing called Worship Stream, and I urge you, if you're looking to sell into the house of worship vertical, definitely check out the videos that we have on Worship Stream and go get those, and you'll be able to learn more about the products we sell into worship, case studies, all that other good stuff that's on there. Also, one of the things I talked about during Worship Stream that I think is a great opportunity is the catering and event spaces in house of worship. This is something to really think about. They're doing weddings, they're doing confirmations, they're doing parties, they're doing bar mitzvahs. Well, these event spaces, what can you put in these event spaces to make them better? You can add PTZ cameras so that people can stream and watch from home. You can add an LED wall that the DJ or the band can be in front of that now makes it more interactive with multiple cameras. The same TriCaster that you can be running the service with on Sunday through NDI can have someone sitting down and mixing the whole room that's there on a party on Saturday night. What else happens when your house of worship has this room with all this great technology in it? It becomes more valuable for them so they can rent it out during the week. Maybe it's a local company that wants to do a little sales conference. Maybe it's a place that's celebrating a retirement party or someone who's achieved a big promotion or a family event or a local event that doesn't necessarily have to be religious in nature. It's an event space, use it, and use it to generate revenue for your house of worship. And that brings me back to something that's very important that I want to stress is we sell absent video walls. Absent video walls can be used in so many different places in the house of worship. You can put them flying on the ceilings behind you. You'll see that in the house of worship. You'll see it right behind the preacher. You'll see them outside the building. You'll see them in overflow rooms, and you may see them by the street to bring people in as digital signage. These are all LED video walls being used by houses of worship of all sizes, believe it or not. Even some small houses of worship are investing in some big video walls. But if you've got some bigger churches that hold, let's say 1,000 people or more, yeah, the video wall may seem like an extravagance, but when you can see how it creates such a more inviting, engaging opportunity for the church to relate with the congregation, it's really there. And then the last thing I want to talk about, it's a little bit morbid, but the truth of the matter is that funerals and cemeteries are a big opportunity for video technology. Let's face it, people die all the time. They get buried all the time. It's sad. But there's also people who can't come, who want to pay their respects, who want to participate. Well, through live streaming, you can make that possible for funeral parlors and cemeteries in your area. Think about it. If the live view is an example or a KiloView P3, you can now stream directly from the grave site, even though there's no Wi-Fi or anything out there to bring that service to whoever wants to watch it. So maybe Aunt Edna in Arizona or Uncle Bob in Minnesota can watch it, and participate and pay their respects to your grandfather, your uncle who passed away. On that trail, I also want to let you know that a lot of the funeral parlors and cemeteries have been consolidating over the last couple of years. So you may find when you talk to the guy in your area, it's not one funeral parlor or one cemetery. It might be 10 or 20 funeral parlors who are all affiliated, now bought by another company that they buy together. So what seems like, hey, I might just get a sale for one PTZ camera may turn out to be 20 or 30 cameras when you put that same thing in all the guys across your state, across your area. It's morbid, it's sad, people die, there are funeral parlors everywhere, and video technology is a way that you can bring in people remotely to pay their respects and pay honor to the person who passed away. Corporate video is probably the biggest green field there is out there. I want to remind everyone that the reason I'm doing this is because I'm here to help you make money. And we've been preaching about corporate video being an opportunity. It still is. Why? There are corporate office buildings in every city and every town across America that have space available. And what's the thing to pitch? Pitch to people in those buildings to take that open space and use a conference room or a large office or another space and turn it into a video studio, a training center, a podcasting room. So let's talk about that. Those empty offices are everywhere. When you take the video in-house, let me spin back a little bit. When you talk to these corporate companies, you're going to find out that they've been spending a lot of money on video because they know video is important. And they may have annual budgets that are $50,000 or $100,000 where they're paying third-party people to produce their videos. Why you should be pitching your corporate customers on all levels, from the local business to the local law firm and real estate person, all the way up to a Fortune 500 company that may have a headquarters or an office or a factory with offices in your local area. In-house video production for marketing. In-house video content is more current, it's more cost-effective with a faster turnaround. Why is that current so important? Well, sometimes something breaks that's kind of like a viral opportunity in time. It could be happening in your community, it could be happening in the industry they're in. Well, taking 6 weeks to get that video back, it's come and gone. But if they can produce a video that addresses whatever that popping thing is at the time, they can latch onto it quickly, turn stuff around and get it out there in a cost-effective way while it's still timely, while it still matters. In-house production gives your customers a competitive edge when it comes to enabling faster, flexible, and agile workflows. And most importantly, it gives them content that they can repurpose for other platforms as they see fit when they want it. So if you bring that video in-house, be it live video, a video studio, doing video training, whether it's just the head of marketing or the head of the company wanting to talk to their affiliates, their other people, their stockholders, whatever it is, when that video is in-house, you get more control of it. It's not really hard to produce video, and you are there to help them be able to communicate. And if they are marketing without video, shame on them. You're there to explain to them that video isn't easy, it's not cost prohibitive, that you as a dealer can bring them solutions that can allow them to take their marketing and their video production in-house and therefore be more productive. Also, you as a pro video dealer who knows NDI, you know that AV over IP allows you to connect and share video resources between multiple offices across campuses. What does that mean? You could be feeding screens in meeting rooms throughout an office building with the video from that video studio. You could be setting up a camera in the president's office and he could be streaming to any room in that place via NDI without a whole lot of complicated workflows. You can have 3 or 4 different little people with video studios within the organization are all mixing that video together for any conference room. And let's face it, folks, we have fatigue. Teams, Zoom, Google, whatever it is, you get more than 3 or 4 people on there. It gets hard to watch, but you can take the time to teach your corporate customers, produce some video with some cool graphics, transitions, and other stuff, just like what we're doing here, and make it more engaging. You can feed this video into a Teams call, and now all of a sudden, people are really engaged in watching and participating more. So AV over IP is another tool, another resource that you can get certified and trained in, and now you can bring it to your corporate customers, which makes you a more valuable partner for the people who you want to sell to. Education? Well, let's look at it. Education. We know 5 years ago when the world stopped and we had to go virtual, education had to go virtual too. Schools were closed. So education schools, they bought a ton of PTZ cameras. Now, some of those may need replacing, but it's not the market that it was now. But one of the things we've really found is that a lot of schools have woken up and realized, hey, during this time, we put all that money into virtual and remote learning and remote teaching and all this stuff. We kind of forgot that we used to have a video studio that used to produce video. Maybe it was for the morning announcements. Maybe you were teaching podcasting to your radio students as well. Well, now is the time that we're seeing a lot of schools are investing in putting in new video studios so that their kids can learn how to be video producers. And let's talk about that. Training and certifications. I'm urging you as a dealer to get training and certifications, but I'm also urging you to go to your schools and put in video studios for your schools where you can link those schools with their curriculum to video certifications and training. So when the kids who come through that school's video program, be it a high school, a small community college, or the big university that's, a top 10 school in football, it doesn't matter. By having the students make the video content, they become on their way to a potential future trade skill that they can leverage either for work right out of school or perhaps help them get into a college or university that otherwise they might not have been able to get into. So students creating content, that's what you're leaning into with that video studio. The fact that that content's going to let them stream their football games and their graduation and the school plays and the choruses and the choir groups and the performances, that's an added benefit. But the pitch is to the school, do you have students producing this great content? We have the gear that can help you set up a course and a curriculum where the kids who come through your program can learn a valuable skill set that can get them employment or help them get into the colleges of their dreams. And then the last thing is LED displays and AV over IP are being used by schools everywhere in colleges. And if colleges and big high schools, they've got digital signage up, and if they want something to be seen from a long distance away, that's an LED video wall. And if you've got an auditorium that's holding 600 people in your local high school, college, or 1,000, well, an LED video wall is going to do a lot better than a 42 or even a 65-inch LCD panel. So look at this as the LED displays is another area where you can put those displays outside the schools, in the main entrance to schools, in auditoriums, as well as in large lecture centers. There's a lot of opportunities for LED video walls in education, and also AV over IP, NDI, Dante, tools like that allow you to have, through the IT department, have video be operating throughout the school. A lot of schools are still not on AV over IP. They haven't seen the wonders of NDI or how Dante can allow them to do things better. We have that technology for you. We have available certifications and training that you can take. Lean into AV over IP when you're approaching with your educational sales opportunities in your area. I'm going to grab a sip of water here because I've talked for 23 minutes straight. I want to go into this one quickly. Government sales. The world's a crazy place right now. We know there's one of the things that's going on is a lot of government agencies and houses of education, higher education. Government offices, the military, government agencies, and higher education, especially public education, are being told that technology products they need to buy have to be TAA compliant. TAA compliant means basically that there's no security risk in those products coming into the country from the vendors they come into. So we have been actively looking for TAA compliant products. Here's a list of some of the vendors who have them. Some have all their products are compliant, like AJA, with the exception of some power supplies you may need to substitute. Netgear has TAA versions of their products. Bird Dog has some that are, some that aren't. Turtle's a new vendor of Dante converters. Panasonic's got some TAA stuff, as does Glyph. We just want to let you know that you can now hunt for that stuff on a bid list where you might otherwise not think you can. Now, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but this isn't the show for it. But obviously, tariffs are a big problem too that are going through TAA. What I want to let you know is Broadfield Distributing has brought in a lot of product from the Far East that we have in our warehouses now, which are obviously, if it's here now, there's no tariffs to worry about. But I can also tell you that my purchasing department has been placing POs beginning this month, and they are being told that there are tariffs that are additional. So we'll be doing future shows on tariffs, but I just want to let you know, if you've got a sale and we've got it in stock, you don't got to worry about tariffs. Just order it, get it in-house, and sell it to your customer. There you go. Last is probably the biggest vertical with the most growth that we've seen in our industry, and that's sports. Sports, live events. Let's talk about sports. You probably have a lot of customers, Mr. Deal, and this is where we're getting back to where your customers are your treasure. It's mining for gold. You've got customers. Lower third. You've got customers that you can call who already have sports stuff done. Maybe it's a high school or a D3 school where they're doing sports. They're streaming sports, but they put that sports gear in maybe just to stream post-COVID. Are they really doing the best sports production they can? Maybe, maybe not. But you know what you can do? You can reach out to them. You can say, hey, do you need more graphics? Do you have instant replay? You have 4 cameras? Wouldn't it be better if you had 6? If you have 6 cameras, wouldn't it be better if you had 9? And if you have 3, let's get a couple more, because you talk to anyone who produces sports, they can always find a way that a new camera can make their sporting event better. The other thing that I want to talk about is remote workflows. We call it REMI. REMI is something that's not the future. It's really happening today. And those sports producers, broadcasters, even if it's online, that it's going to YouTube or it's going to their website. Remote is a way that you can create shows with more flexibility, save money, and improve production. You don't need a huge 18-wheeler pulling up to the side of a field in order to produce a fantastic event. You can get a couple of cameras up there that are hooked up to like live view, that they're coming into the main studio that you have back home. You can be adding graphics. The person doing the graphics could be on the other side of the country. And you can have someone doing instant replay who's not there, or someone who's also bringing in interviews and other stuff. By using remote production of sports, you're real time, but with less people, with less hard dollars, with less travel, and people who produce sports get that and they want to learn more. And if you want to learn more about remote production, give us a call, talk to our team. We have workflow specialists who can talk to you about it. And also, once again, lean into our vendors. Our vendors would love to talk to you about the opportunities you may have in sports, and let us know what you have. And we'll get the folks at LiveView, at VizRT, you name it. We'll get them on to come visit you, or to get on a phone or get on a Teams call and talk about how REMI is something that you can sell, the training you need to be able to sell it. More importantly, they'll get on the phone with your customers too to help you sell it to your customers so that they can understand that they can produce sports more flexible for less money with a faster turnaround. And then the other thing that I've been remiss to talk about is, if you have people who are producing sports, are they streaming it? And are they streaming it and taking advantage of social media, highlight videos, spotlight segments, interviews? If you talk to your local high schools and what they're doing with sports, and then talk about things like social media, podcasting, coach interviews, highlight films of the best athletes and things like that, they may be doing all that stuff. They may not be. If they're doing it, they may be looking for things to make it more efficient to do it better. That's an opportunity for you. If they're not doing it, knock, knock, knock. Let's get them going. Let's see what we've got to put in there to get their sports up to speed, to have them do the best possible sports productions they can in their facility. And we have found that one of the best ways to get video technology into a high school is when the sports is involved, because sports gets the money initially, but the other groups within the high school jump in and say, oh, we'd like to use that too. So all of a sudden, the sports budget that is 10 grand becomes 25 grand, because you're also going to produce the plays, the performances at the high school, graduation, etc. So sports, great thing to be leaning into. And if you're in it, lean into it more. If you're not into it, well, reach out to your local high schools and find out what they're doing with sports. If you're fortunate enough to have a community that has a very active beer league for hockey, or maybe basketball teams, or maybe you've got some minor league or development baseball teams, or a very active football, soccer programs going. These are people you can talk to also about, do they want to produce their sports and do it better? We have customers who have complexes, who they found their customers have complexes where they might have like 8 or 10 basketball courts or pickleball courts, and they want to be able to present what's going on those courts, to be able to stream for people to watch from home, for coaches to use, what have you. All video technology. We've got cool stuff that can do that for you as well. So lean into sports. There's money to be made in sports. If you're not doing sports, look into it. The next thing that we see is exploding is venues. During the shutdown, people couldn't go out, couldn't see live music, couldn't congregate together. And we are seeing that venues are coming back stronger than ever. That's your local bar that might have a stage. That's venues that sit maybe 500 to 1,000 people in your town, where you get some bigger acts or acts that used to be big, or cover bands and stuff like that. We have a couple of places on Long Island. We have the Paramount in Huntington, and we have in Westbury. We've got a place that does stuff like that. It's also outdoor places that produce shows, like we have the wineries and the breweries out east have stages where they produce shows. Well, all those shows require video for producing the content there. And also there's the streaming capability. So by you as a video technology reseller going into these different venues and talking to them about that, you may find, yeah, I really wanted to be able to put this video into the overflow room. I just expanded. I've got the place next door. I'd love to have a screen in there and be able to show the video. Or, you know what? It's crazy. I know these bands are paying these other guys, thousands of dollars to come in to be able to produce these multi-camera shows. If I had that in here, I could be charging that as part of my venue fee and saying, you have the video equipment, here it is. We can run it, you can run it, but here's how it goes. There's a chance to make more money. There's performance spaces in higher ed. There's local auditoriums and theaters. There's, like I talked about earlier, there's revenue streams for event spaces and catering halls and house of worship. And there's also the ability for anyone who's producing any kind of event or show, there's an opportunity for an LED video wall behind the talent as part of the immersion, or maybe outside in an overflow room, or just above the talent, like it's a very large audience and you just can't see the people from the back of the room. We'll fly a big LED wall up there and let the people in the back row get a great view of what's going on also. I also want to talk a little bit about a technology we sell right now called Panasonic Kairos. And Panasonic Kairos we really love for events because they do great with live and streaming at the same time to put videos on any shape video walls or screens that you have within the venue. So if you've got a customer who's a larger venue really looking to upgrade their video technology game, Kairos is definitely something you want to look into, especially they need iMag. If there's got to be zero delay between that audio and that video and it's all got to be synced, Kairos just does a great job in that. So I wasn't going to get into products, but that's one product I did feel was worth pitching for this specific thing. People say, hey, what's new? What's a new vertical we can go after? And one of the verticals that we see that is happening, it's early now. We're getting some sales, some of our deals are getting sales into medical. Medical could be hospitals, it could be doctors' offices where there's multiple doctors in an office, where now they have 10 or 20 doctors, in an office building, you know what's going on all there. So where are the places? Medical teaching. If you've got a hospital or a university that's doing medical teaching, live streaming surgeries and medical procedures for education is there, as is recording those procedures for insurance purposes. Telemedicine, conducting virtual consultations and follow-up appointments with patients. We see that a lot. And we're also seeing video used for collaboration. That's where a doctor who's a specialist would be consulting with another doctor who's a specialist, could be across town, across country, across the world. And they're talking together, they're sharing videos, they're sharing images, they're sharing live data. I love this picture because if you look closely, you'll actually see there's a Panasonic camera in this operating room. It's just, there's a lot of opportunities in medicine. And one of the things that we found is hospitals and hospital groups have these carts they wheel all over the place all the time. And you can get really lucky. And you might find a hospital that's looking for a cart solution. They want to put a PTZ camera and maybe a streaming device or something else as part of a bigger solution of what they're doing. And it might not be that they want one of them. They may want to roll out 20, 50, 100, 500 of them throughout a hospital chain that's in your whole state. When you log into an opportunity like that, what we want to push on you is get that deal registered. Why? Because deal registrations are a chance for you to lock in extra money, extra earnings, and make sure that you're protected from bid wars and from people underbidding it. So let me talk about that a little bit, because I think deal registration is one of the things, is an overarching element to our dealers, is you need to be tapping into that. A lot of our vendors offer deal registration. Jim's done shows on deal registration. I know you've gotten calls from our reps, but when you register a deal, you get basically a little bit back-end percentage, some extra money to get the deal. You can use that to be profitability. You can use it to lower the bid a little bit to protect yourself from bid chasers. But what I like best is you can use that money to throw something unique into the bid that you know you can do or you can provide that the other guys who are just the laundry list bid chasers can't. So take advantage of deal registration, especially when you're leading into a new vertical like medical. Our vendors would love to hear about what you're doing there, and we would love to help you close that business. Last thing is I want to talk about is influencers, YouTubers, and podcasters. Now, I know a lot of our dealers are into more professional, higher end stuff, and I'm going to draw a little pyramid with my hands now here. The very top of the pyramid, that's those broadcast guys and the guys you got. And then that next big band of the pyramid is what we'll call tier 2. Those could be your big universities, your corporate video, some of your education, and certainly some sports stuff. But what's there is the whole big base of this huge pyramid is people creating video. Those people are podcasters, YouTubers, and influencers. And while they may not have budgets of 10,000 or 20 or 50,000 budgets, what there is there's a lot of them. There's hundreds of thousands of them. And if you can just get yourself being the expert that the YouTubers and influencers and podcasters in your community come to, you are going to find that they'll buy their stuff from you. You can give them tips. Better cameras make their videos look better. Multi-camera productions and graphics are stickier, more engaging. Higher productive values let them stand out from the crowd, and all of them need storage to keep their raw video on because they all want to know for later. But here's the bigger thing that I want to talk about that we're talking about treasure in your existing customers. This is about treasure in new customers. If you sell to 50 or 60 different YouTuber influencers in your area, simple things like a YOLO box or a PTZ camera, maybe one of them gets a TriCaster Mini, or some of them buy their storage, or maybe they buy Avid Media Composer from you for their editing, doesn't matter. Some percentage of them are going to hit it bigger. The one thing that we found is the people in this community take their earnings and they invest it back into themselves, back into their productions, back into what they do. Mr. Beast didn't start as a billion-dollar company. He started as an influencer YouTuber who was very smart and plowed his money back into it. And the fact that we have several big customers of ours who list Mr. Beast as their customers. That's fantastic. Call Her Daddy, Spittin' Chicklets, all these different podcasts, Joe Rogan that they hit, not everyone's going to be that. I'm not even pretending anyone is. But let's say one of these guys gets up to the point who you got some starter gear in, and got to the point where he was big enough that he had enough followers that now he's making a few $1,000s a month. And maybe someone comes to him and says, if you can get to that next level, I'd be willing to have you become part of our podcast network, get our network behind this. That takes investment, that takes money. Be that guy in your area, work with that guy. Not only is it cool that you'll be able to make money along the way selling them, but you'll also be able to tell people, remember this guy? I knew him when. I'm the one who helped him get into this. I'm the one who told him to get a guest on the show. I'm the one who taught him PTZ cameras. I'm the one who helped him with it, take his podcast and put it into video. So now that he's got 100,000 YouTube followers, that's because I got him into video. So don't dismiss this group. You are a video technology reseller. You are a dealer. Yes, a lot of this stuff gets bought on Amazon. I get it. A lot of it gets returned to Amazon also. If you can take a little time to work with the people, figure out who they are in your area, and give them the service and support that you know how to do, you may just be surprised, and you may just land that whale that ends up creating tons of business for you in the future. So lean into influencers, YouTubers, and podcasters. Next, I want to talk about AI. Now, we've been using AI consistently for years. I logged into ChatGPT the day I found out about it. It's very cool. Our team uses it to help us turn articles into blogs. We use it as part of our scripts when we're scripting shows. We use it to help with our social media posts. We use it all the time, and you should be using it as well. AI is a great point. It's an assistant. It's a marketing assistant you never knew you had. So social media content, copy, targeted emails, scripts for your sales team, blog posts, so many things. Let's bring this up a little bigger, because what I did, I took for a sample prompt this. Basically, I said, ChatGPT, you're an email marketing genius. Go hunting for sale. The title's hunting for sales. The things that I wanted in mind for existing customers for gold. Go after key verticals, upgrade, trade ups. There it is. And what happened was it generated this image for me. So I got an image out of it. What did I say? Let's do an email. You are an email marketing expert. Create an email to my existing customers who purchased a PTZ camera, encouraging them to upgrade to the latest 4K versions with better optics, smoother mechanics, more connectivity, auto tracking, autofocus, superior image. Why does that sound familiar to you? Because it was on slide 2 on PTZ. It's the same exact information. And look what this thing spit out. Dear customer, thank you for purchasing a PTZ camera from us during COVID. We appreciate your trust in our technology. We're excited to introduce our latest 4K PTZ cameras designed to take your video production to the next level with superior optics, smoother mechanics, and enhanced connectivity. These new models deliver unparalleled image quality and performance. Enjoy features like auto tracking, lightning fast autofocus, ultra crisp resolution, ensuring every shot is sharp, stable, and professional. Now is the perfect time to upgrade and stay ahead with cutting-edge technology. Whether you're live streaming, broadcasting, or capturing your events, our 4K PTZ cameras provide the precision and clarity you need. Plus, we're offering exclusive upgrade incentives for our loyal customers. Don't miss this opportunity. Click below to explore the new lineup or contact us for personalized recommendations. Guys, this is what ChatGPT spit out. You're welcome to use this exactly or use it any way you want. But AI is a way for anyone to market themselves bigger, better, and appear stronger and grow sales. Put this as an email. Put it as a blog post. Lean in. You are the expert. Your company is the expert. The more content you can create that shows that you're the expert, the better it's going to be for you to grow sales and capture sales. And lastly, I do want to go back to this graphic a little bit because it's a little humorous story, and that is AI is cool, but AI hallucinates and does some weird stuff. So I plugged into ChatGPT that I wanted a graphic to use in my presentation. I said the title was Hunting for Sales. These are the 4 key bullets. And as you can see, it gave me a graphic. The only problem with the graphic is the words are really kind of gibberish. And I 3 times said, no, use these exact words that I have here. But for whatever reason, the AIs that create images can't spell or make gibberish words. I don't know why. So why do I tell you that? Because remember, AI is a starting point, not an ending point. Anything you do with AI, take the time to turn it into your own voice. Use it as a tool, let you get the job quicker. Don't use this as a substitute for your marketing department. That's going to get you in trouble, and the AIs are going to detect that it's AI, and you're not going to get the traction you think you want. By all means, lean into AI to help you sell. And I just want to, once again, thank you for tuning in to today's show. I'm Gary Batan, the president of Broadfield Distributing. The goal of this was to help you grow your business. We are here to help you make more money. It's more than just getting you the products in our warehouse. You know you can call us. We have the best workflow team in the industry. Our guys can help you solve difficult, complex problems for your customers. We have great relationships with our vendors. We can help you lean into our vendors to get with our vendors in order to have them back you up with our team as well. We have support for you before the sale to help you close the sale, and we're going to be there after the sale if you run into trouble too. And here is my tips for hunting for more sales to grow your business during these challenging times at the beginning of 2025. Number 1, mine existing customer base for gold. We gave you a lot of examples of that. Number 2, go after key verticals. We gave you key verticals and a new vertical to go after in medical. Upgrade, trade up, and refresh 5-year-old technology. If your customer bought something at the beginning or before COVID, it's 5 years old, folks. Go after there, get them refreshed, get them something new. Explain to them all the features that are in the new products that weren't there before and why they should be upgrading. 5-year technology is old technology. And last but not least, talk to your customers, your new customers, your old customers, and listen to their needs and get them the products they need to solve their problems. The dealers, get your certifications, do what you need, sign up to be a part of the brands that are selling. We are here for you. Give us a call. We can help you get training and certifications. Give us a call. We can help you get deal regs. Give us a call. We can help you get the treasure from your existing customers. We are here to help you make more money. This is Gary from Broadfield Distributing. Jim will be back on the Liquid Lunch next week. I hope you learned something. And what I want you to do, if you did, don't just watch this video again. Make sure every one of your sales team watches the video so that they become more effective at growing your business and hunting for sales. Have a good one.
Broadfield Distributing is a value-added distributor of live production, streaming, video editing, and storage products. We only sell to resellers. We are always looking for new dealers, so call us at 1-800 634-5178 or email sales@broadfield.com. You'll like doing business with Broadfield because we make it easy to do business.